the Trump campaign's going, how we ensure this maverick patriot ends up getting in the White House. So Roger Stone of StoneZone.com, thank you so much for taking time out today.
Well, Alex, as you can imagine, I have several hundred press calls today from across the country, and everybody, which is very typical of the mainstream media, very focused on process, very focused on the who shot John of political intrigue, missing, I think, the larger implications. So I have elected, in all honesty, to lay low. I'm not going to take any press calls today. I'm going to do all my talking right here at Infowars.com. As you know, I've said for some time that the historical track record of presidential campaigns that had internal divisions and factions is not good. 8 years ago, when we had Mark Penn versus Mandy Grunwald fighting within Hillary's campaign for president, I think, frankly, it doomed them. You need to have the unity of command. A campaign cannot be a democracy. It has to be a dictatorship, and all power must flow from the candidate. The candidate's the ultimate boss. The candidate has the ultimate authority, and he needs to delegate that to one person, not a committee. So I have every confidence in Paul Manafort's ability to guide or help guide the Trump campaign to success, to victory. I also think that you are going to have a smoother flow of information to the candidate. Donald Trump is a thoroughbred with great instincts, particularly great instinct for the jugular. There is nobody better at counterpunching, and we're at a time in the campaign, Alex, that his entire issue has been validated. The fact that they are redacting these 911 calls to take out the references to ISIS and the leader of ISIS proves that Trump's criticism of the president of roughly a week ago is right on the money. They have another agenda. They will not even mouth the words except for when they absolutely have to.
Wow. Well, thank you for giving us this exclusive. Roger Stone, please, you've got the floor. We're going to skip this network break. Talk about issues that held things up if you can, but I agree we should just move forward. But folks do want to know, since you're making a statement, and then let's move forward from here. But what great news to know that your business partner in your political group has been helping the Trump campaign, but is now the head of the campaign. You, of course, formerly the head of the campaign. I have complete trust in you and Mr. Manford, so this is very exciting.
Well, Alex, I've said this to you before, both privately and on the air. This campaign is not about Corey Lewandowski or Roger Stone or Paul Manafort or Alex Jones. This campaign is about our last best chance to save the country. The Republican establishment's doing everything possible to undermine the candidacy of Donald Trump. They don't respect the democratic process. Attention, Paul Ryan, we had the primaries. You lost. Mitch McConnell, you lost. The party has selected its nominee, at least on paper, and in reality very shortly. What the Republicans don't understand is that Donald J. Trump and the Trump revolution is bigger than the Republican Party, reaches beyond the Republican Party. In many places, I think the campaign was hamstrung by dual authorities and countermanded orders. But I don't think it's productive to go into a long discussion of everything that was wrong with the campaign. I think the campaign has achieved historic things under the leadership of Donald Trump. And you certainly saw in the New York, Indiana, California, Pennsylvania, California primaries, a smoother running political operation. There's no question the Trump camp is playing catch-up ball. They need a communications director. They need additional field staff. They need additional party professionals. But now I think the deck is cleared to do that and to build a smaller, leaner, more guerrilla-oriented campaign that is still large enough and fast enough to compete with the well-oiled Clinton machine, which, as you know, is a massive, massive biography, massive political machine.
Absolutely. I know you've been doing research on their biography, though, and boy, is it a nightmare. Roger Stone. I totally agree. We should move on from Lewandowski. I have nothing against Lewandowski, other than every time I saw major mistakes being made and him up there bragging about things on TV, it seemed to be about Lewandowski, though every time we're talking about Trump with you on, you'll never even talk about yourself. So, I mean, certainly he was putting himself, I think, in many cases, in front of the campaign. I think he was a bit entitled, and I'm sad to see that happen. But it's good news that he's gone now, obviously. Now, I made a prediction that's coming true. It wasn't hard to predict, but obviously we want Trump to be the presumptive nominee. And we want to just go ahead and put that to bed, as we did months ago, and say, okay, he's won these states. He's the guy. The problem is that I know how these Republicans work. They're playing possum, these rhinos, Paul Ryan and others. And I said, wait till they get right up, closer to Cleveland. They're going to come and try to defect again and, shoot Trump down and pull some scam. They know they're losing the battle by being out in the open because you put Stop the Steal out, millions coming to Cleveland. But I said, we got to come to Cleveland. We got to be there. I expect some more shenanigans, some more fiascos, some more hanky-panky, because these losers think they're God and think they can step in front of the Trump bullet train. Now, as you know, it comes out they've got a stealth campaign going to try to steal the delegates again and pull something. Now, obviously, it's going to be ill-fated, but it shows how incredibly piranha-like and arrogant and disconnected they are that they're doing this. So let me ask you, what is your view on this? What do we do to counteract it?
Well, Alex, I think you're absolutely right. I think that there's trouble afoot inside the convention hall as well as outside the convention hall. So let's talk about both. I still think in the end, Manafort is the master of campaign rules and credentials and the platform. He's a superb vote counter. And whether or not this little insurrection, which the media themselves reports is being carried forward by dozens of delegates, not hundreds, not thousands, but dozens, I think it is ill-fated. I don't think it's going anywhere, but it is incumbent on the Trump campaign keep a very close eye on it to make sure that you don't get a runaway convention. The idea that you would pass a conscience clause of the to the Rules Committee that would allow delegates to opt out of their party rules-based commitment to vote for Trump on the basis of the democratic process and the way the people voted is outrageous. You, in essence, would be saying to the Republican primary voters, your views don't matter. We don't care what you think. You voted for no reason. You wasted your vote.
It says our conscience trumps your conscience.
It's outrageous, and it's arrogant, frankly. It is the arrogance of the ruling class of the Republican Party. Meanwhile,
it's the creme de la creme of arrogance. It's the cream of the cream.
It really is. Meanwhile, in a story that was really broken here on InfoWars before anyone, the city of Cleveland seeks to gag and destroy the First Amendment rights of those who wish to go to Cleveland to demonstrate in favor and protest these shenanigans.
Come hell or high water, I'm coming. Come hell or high water, and everybody needs to be there.
Well, I'm going to be there as well, but I can now report two things. One, that the city is insisting that that all demonstrators, left, right, middle, Black Lives Matter, Infowars.com followers, Trump supporters, Citizen for Trump members, MoveOn.org will all be in one area, unsegmented. There will be one microphone. The city will control that microphone, and you can apply if you wish to speak. They have already given permission to speak to a number of extraneous groups that don't matter.
Yeah, they're going to fill it with like underbenchers that don't even matter to their own people. That is, oh my God.
And they will not let us.
Let's control government channel.
Yeah, they will not let us have our own rally. They will not let us have our own march. They actually gave the rally site that we had applied for to the Westboro Baptist Church. They don't seem to have much trouble
around and screen anti-gay stuff and then claim they support Trump.
Yeah, exactly. Now, look, let's be very clear. The city of Cleveland is a Democratic machine stronghold. Cuyahoga County is a Democratic machine stronghold. This is a recipe for violence. This is a plan to achieve violence. The whole point of our people applying for a permit would be so that we were engaged in a lawful activity and that the local police would defend us, would protect us. Now, in this configuration, nobody is protected. It's a sure recipe for a combustion, for violence.
Roger, I think I personally come to speak. You invited me a while back. It's all set up. I mean, I assume or something, because clearly this is a recipe for chaos, a recipe for disaster, putting us all in one giant pen together. What psycho would put the Black Lives Matter cop killing machine with the communists in with all the libertarians and patriots and the bikers for Trump? I mean, I'm sorry. They're going to start a fight. They're going to get their butts kicked, and they're going to claim we started the violence when we've been for peace the whole time. The whole time you said peace, peace, peace. We must be peaceful. They blame you, claiming you're coming to harass delegates. These people are engaged in criminal conspiracy, and I'm shocked that the city of Cleveland is this outrageous. This is insane.
Yeah, what's even more interesting is that the ACLU has now agreed to represent us, a group of organizations that are challenging these gag resolutions. I'm actually advocating a demonstration in Cleveland in the coming days, in which everyone who is a Trump supporter wears an actual gag to make the point to the public that this is a setup. This is a precipitation for violence.
I just had a great idea. Let's just fly in for 2 days in like a week or two and just have an impromptu demonstration at some city park we announce. We all wear gags. I bet 1,000 of my listeners, 2,000 will show up. If you plug it, tens of thousands. And I bet Drudge will link to it. We all show up for a demonstration ahead of Cleveland with gags in our mouths and see if they arrest us for that.
Great minds work alike. Yes, I think it's a great idea. Let's do it.
You set the time, sir, and I'll bullhorn it. We'll fly in. We'll just do a 48-hour deal. You know, get there for a day, war game it. You know, have a deal, and then just pick the spot. We'll show up and exercise the First Amendment silently. Oh my God, it'll be sensational international news countering this attempt. How arrogant, though, does this show the Democrats are in Cleveland?
Yeah, no, it's extraordinary. This is clearly unconstitutional. The rules they have handed down, they provide for one march route that can only last 50 minutes. All marchers jumbled together. Black Lives Matter, Move On, John Birch Society, Citizens for Trump, whatever it may be.
Time bomb.
This is going to take off like a rocket. And then we are forced to share space with all these radical groups. We're denied a permit for our own rally space. We're denied the ability to have our own public address system, which we control, which is an outrageous abridgment of the First Amendment.
Unprecedented.
So we have played the game by the rules. We have cooperated with the city and with the Cleveland police at every step of the process. And we have largely been ignored, and there's an attempt to jam these rules down our throats. I'm not optimistic about the court case. Perhaps I'm just a pessimist, but I believe in Cuyahoga County, every judge is probably a Democratic political hack who has risen to the top of the heap because they couldn't survive in private practice. So the law doesn't matter. The principles don't matter. I suspect we'll get an adverse ruling. I'm hopeful that I'm wrong, but I'm a political realist. So, yes, I think a mass public demonstration in Cleveland to show the American people what this fight is about is a great idea.
Well, sir, if you want me to honcho it, fine, but you've got all the groups, you know. I'm ready to promote it. I'm coming, and I'm ready to have a silent demonstration. We can cut across, obviously, do media after, but we're going to let's see them attack that. And I think we should have it maybe right in front of the city council, wherever you think, and just point out this is happening. I'm ready. I'm flying to Cleveland. And I want everybody that's in the local area to stand with us because, folks, if they can do this, they can do anything, and it means they're planning more shenanigans. They don't want us there when they try to steal the nomination from Trump. I'm telling you, my gut told me this was coming. I said they claim some new scandal and claim a conscience deal. Either I'm psychic or they're listening to the show. No, I'm actually not. I just know how they operate. I knew they were going to do this, Roger.
Well, you've been warning about it for some time. I'd like to have a better vote count and a tighter sense of the party committees in which these shenanigans would have to take place. There's no question that Ted Cruz and some of the bitter enders around him, the folks who like things the way they are, many of them, in all honesty, would prefer to have Hillary in the White House than Donald Trump because Hillary, like them, is a globalist. Hillary can be dealt with. Trump is an unguided force of nature. He marches to his own drummer.
He's a man. He's a lone American. That's why they hate.
Yeah, in the Gary Cooper style. You're absolutely right.
Well, this is so epic. Look, I am so excited. This doesn't discourage me to go to Cleveland. Look, here's the deal. If they steal the nomination, it'll cause a revolution. They're that arrogant, though. Obviously, common sense is he's won more votes than any Republican in history. He's the nominee. He's a populist. He's got 25% of blacks going for him. Republicans can't even get 10%. He's got the gays all behind him now. He's reaching out. We're fighting the real Donald Trump that you and I already knew. It's total victory. But these guys, Paul Ryan and others, are so arrogant. And Mitch McConnell and the Koch brothers, they are so arrogant that they still, I'm telling you, they might actually steal it from him and give it to, some lowly Republican. And we've just got to be there for this, Roger, because I'm telling you, they are that arrogant. If they do that, though, what do you really think is going to happen? Because I'm not a violence guy. I've learned the pen is mightier than the sword, as you have. But at a certain point, if we're living in Ceausescu's Romania and they're ignoring our nominees and, giving it to Hillary when Sanders wins and giving it to whoever when Trump wins, at what point when they've stolen the country and claim it's their divine right, sovereign right, to quote, George Will, at what point do I not get on my knees then and just bow down and ask George Will to pull it out? I mean, do I either bow to George Will or do I say no to George Will? I'm not getting on my knees and doing what?
Look, I can't see any instance in which violence is the answer because, as you know, violence will be blamed on Trump and his supporters. No matter who threw the first punch, we know what they're up to. This has been the agenda of the Soros, Move On people and the Clintonites from the beginning, which was to disqualify Trump by branding him as a violent, misogynist, racist, bigot, madman, trigger-happy lunatic, a caricature that isn't even close.
Who's anti-gay but gives interviews to the Advocate over and over again and says how, yeah, exactly. So let's expand on that then. Obviously, I wasn't calling for violence. It was hypothetical. We need to engage in political stunts. Like you just said, we've got to go to Cleveland. We've got to point out they're violating the First Amendment now. So you agree that's a green light plan?
Yes, I want to talk to the folks in Cleveland, but the Trump movement is very strong in that part of Ohio and nearby parts of Pennsylvania. I'm convinced we can build a large crowd to make the point that the First Amendment is being canceled by the city of Cleveland, and that is outrageous. And more importantly,
we all wear gag balls in our mouth, though.
Absolutely, I think the visual of that is extraordinary.
That is amazing. Okay, I want to do 5 more minutes. I know you have to go, and I really appreciate doing this exclusive interview. Roger Stone, StoneZone.com. But let me briefly just ask you. We're going to go to break in about a minute. I want you to give a message to the mainstream media, since you're not doing interviews today, giving us this exclusive. What is your message to them about what this means, where this is going? Because listen, you could defeat Trump. You could cheat him. You could steal an election. But that will only make things blow up bigger. Isn't it a Pyrrhic victory? For those that don't know what that is, a victory you win, but then you end up losing because you won it. Isn't cheating Trump and populism Pyrrhic?
I think it would be an enormous political mistake because it just underlines that he is not the establishment candidate, that he is the only real reformer. I still don't think not in support of Ryan and others.
Thank you for listening to GCN.
Right, stay there. Roger Stone has the floor. We are back. Roger Stone, we've got 4.5 minutes left. You have the floor. Your message to the dinosaur media about what Corey Lewandowski's exit means and where the ship of Trump is going in the future.
Well, I guess my major point here would be that exactly at the time that the public attention is focusing solely on the issue of Islamic extremism, and at a time that Donald Trump's proposal for a temporary ban on Muslim immigration is becoming more and more and more popular with the American people, the media is focusing on the minutia of Corey Lewandowski and in internal campaign politics. Now, the average voter doesn't know who Lewandowski is, doesn't know who Roger Stone is, and doesn't care. Trump's agenda is now front and center. This is a golden opportunity, I think, for him to double down. It was interesting to watch that patriot Jeff Sessions under attack from CNN saying, well, what countries would you ban immigration from? Well, during the Iranian hostage crisis, as you know, Alex, President Jimmy Carter banned all immigration from Iran, as he should have, as he was wise to do. It could be done.
Sure, she was acting like it's unprecedented. I mean, Saudi Arabia doesn't take anybody from a refugee area, period. I mean, the Muslim countries don't take them. So there's this mind game that she's all shocked. Oh my gosh, I'm the wife of the head of the Federal Reserve. How dare you say we don't just open our doors to anybody? How about she opens her house up to me? How about I move into her bedroom?
Well, you'd certainly raid your refrigerator. Look, the problem here is a pretty simple one, and that is watching these Republicans this weekend on CNN saying, well, this is unconstitutional, it may be illegal. On the other hand, I've read the statute. The president absolutely has the authority to ban any group for any reason, for any length of time.
To defend the public. That's what the country's for.
Period. There's no constitutional issues here. Now, it may have to be done on a country-by-country basis, but if you banned immigrants from Syria, from Saudi, from half a dozen other countries, I think you could address...
He just 14 countries he's done.
Right, exactly.
What else is going on your radar, Roger Stone?
And for those who think that this is going to recede as an issue, they don't understand Trump. This is a winner that the two-party duopoly and the political establishment despises, but the American people see the carnage in Orlando. We know that this gunman went around and scoped out several other gay clubs. Look, Donald Trump is the only candidate for president who will protect gay people, just like he'll protect all Americans. Special rights for no one, but equal rights for everyone. And
what do you make of the left flipping out over his record? Has always been pro-inclusive, pro-free market, executives, you name it. As his real records discovered, they've hit the panic mode as all the many major gay groups are now going, whoa, we were conned.
Well, and frankly, after the fact that gay marriage is now settled law, regardless of anyone's personal opinion of that, I think most gay voters are beginning to focus on security and economic opportunity. Unbelievably, the Democratic Party, which has had gays and lesbians as an important part of their constituency, a part of their coalition, certainly an important part of their donor base, has chosen Islamic extremism over the LGBT community. And I think that is outrageous, absolutely outrageous. Only Donald Trump will protect gay Americans as he protects all Americans.
Roger, we got 40 seconds left, but I'm going to be honest with you. Barring assassination, my gut tells me, I knew this a year ago, but I know it now, Trump's going to be the next president of the U.S. We just got to decide how we help get him in there. This is an amazing time to be alive.
I agree with you. I think anything is now possible.